Hello, grade 12s. Today's poem is Somewhere I Have Never Traveled by an American poet, E E Cummings. E E Cummings is a bit of an unconventional poet in his writing style, and we will get to see what it's all about. Let's get into it. So looking at the title of our poem, Somewhere I've Never Traveled, the word somewhere tells you it is unknown. The personal pronoun I tells you this is going to be a first person account, and the words have never traveled. So the entire title, the phrase tells you it is an unknown destination. Please take note of the fact that certain words are written in lowercase, which would usually be in caps. And this is the signature unconventional style of writing that we are used to of the poet E E Cummings. So looking at stanza 1, lines 1 to 4, somewhere I've never traveled, gladly beyond any experience, your eyes have their silence. In your most frail gesture are things which enclose me, or which I cannot touch because they are too near. So in line 1, it is also the title of the poem, Somewhere I've Never Traveled. So somewhere tells us it is unknown, and it's the emotional, not a physical journey. The word gladly could mean exciting or looking forward to this destination being made a reference of. The pronoun I, first person account, and also written in lowercase, shows the insignificance. Line 2, your eyes have their silence. So eyes are personified and given verbal ability. There's synesthesia, and that is mixing functions of senses, see and hear. Here, innocent gestures mesmerizes him. The colon also indicates that explanation or more information is coming. Line 3, frail gesture refers to the unconscious habits his lover possesses, which excites him. The word enclose means to cover. Reference to the impact she has over him is being portrayed here. Line 4. So we have a paradox here, meaning there's some form of contradiction. The speaker cannot touch the emotion, but he can most definitely feel it so clearly. So please note the visual imagery in stanza 1. Silence is a visual imagery because it needs the sense of sight to notice silence. It tells that Cummings found silence by looking at his lover's eyes. The word gesture also considered as a visual imagery because it is caught by sense of sight. He sees the gesture which encloses him. And moving along to stanza 2, lines 5 to 8, your slightest look easily will enclose me. Though I have closed myself as fingers, you open always, petal by petal, myself as spring opens, touching skillfully, mysteriously, her first rose. So in line 5, now the speaker wants to tell the readers about the gaze of his lover by using visual imagery. The visual imagery can be seen in the second stanza from the word look. In line 6, we have an example of a simile. He compares himself to a closed fist. So we can imagine when we are angry or we are not trusting, we have a closed fist. Line 6 and 7 also have the words closed and open used interchangeably. We see a contrast of two opposites, and this is an example of a juxtaposition. In line 7 further down, we've got quite a few figure of speeches, so please take note of this. The man is compared to a petal, so that is a metaphor. Spring is personified, it is given the ability to open. And then we also have a simile, the word as is used, and a comparison of how the lover opens him up the way spring opens flowers. On to stanza 3, lines 9 to 12. Or if you wish be to close me, I and my life will shut very beautifully, suddenly, as when the heart of this flower imagines the snow carefully everywhere descending. So in lines 9 to 12, the writer compares himself with the heart of the flower here in the third stanza. This stanza describes the imagination of the writer when his lover's wish is to let him down. It will be like snow which descends carefully everywhere. In lines 9 to 12, there is also an example of a simile. The word as is used. The man is comparing his feelings to that of a flower closing due to the environment's conditions. In line 11, please note there's also an example of a personification. Snow is given the ability to imagine. Moving along to our last stanza, stanza 4, lines 13 to 20. Nothing which we are to perceive in this world equals the power of your intense fragility, whose texture compels me with the color of its country, rendering death and forever with each breathing. I do not know what it is about you that closes and opens. Only something in me understands. The voice of your eyes is deeper than all roses. Nobody, not even the rain, has such small hands. So in lines 13 to 14, we've got a paradox. Remember, paradox is a contrast between two things. The word power and the phrase intense fragility are being contrasted. So the word fragility comes from the root word fragile, so it's easily damaged. So there's a contrast between being very powerful and intensely fragile. In line 15, the word color is considered as a visual imagery because we must see which color that something had. In the stanza, the writer has some memorable impression of the certain color of the countries. There's also a metaphor, fragility is compared to countries. In line 17 to 19, the brackets could refer to a deeper meaning or a separation of feeling or thought. There are several visual imageries in the fourth stanza. They are closes, opens, and voice. The word closes and opens describe what the writer sees about his lover. Only something inside of him understands what closes and opens mean. In line 19 also we've got an example of synesthesia. The eyes being able to have a voice and describing her inner beauty as more beautiful than all roses. In line 20, we've got personification. The rain is given the ability to have hands. So please note that the visual imagery can also be seen from the word voice. It is also considered as a visual imagery because the voice in the last stanza above means some sounds that the eyes can tell. I hope you enjoyed it. So in summary and just to recap, love is complicated. It brings about extremes of emotional highs and lows. In this poem, the poet takes all the extremes of love into account and somehow finds the beauty in them. Both the highs and the lows are part of the appeal for the speaker. This poem manages to capture the uncapturable way there is beauty in both extremes that are part of being in love. The poem is about a man who is desperately in love. He starts off by stating that he is embarking on a fabulous journey deep into his lover's mysterious eyes. He describes how she has amazing powers over him. She can control him emotionally with a flick of a hand or the smallest of glances. Whatever she does is amazing. The speaker takes it even further when he compares himself to a rose being opened and closed by the seasons. He even goes so far as to say that his lover can open to the infinite, that being the universe, death, and whatever comes after. In the end, he admits that he has no idea what gives her so much power over him. He is simply obsessed.